Yeah! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on bogradio.fm. This edition today features a short film that I wrote and directed and produced this past summer in Port St. Lucie, Florida, more specifically in Orlando, Florida, along with Kareem Everison, who's an actor and director in his own right. We collaborated and put together this film, which is about spiritual warfare. Hopefully, later on during the show, Kareem will be joining us along with some members of that film, Axel Aponte and Jayne Jensen and Shawn, Lawrentz, who had prominent roles in this film. And it talks about spiritual warfare, the unknown kingdom. And so it's a film that is based largely on what angels and demons are doing in that realm that we cannot see. And it's happening right now as we speak right now. Angels and demons are battling and fighting for the souls of human beings. And of course, God, the creator and author of it all, wants human beings with him in his kingdom, the heavenly kingdom. When it's all said and done, the devil, of course, who's already lost, wants to take as many of the human beings that God created, which God favored over the devil, and he wants to take them down with him. He knows he's not going to win, but he wants to take as many human beings down with him as he can before his time is up. And so we have The Unknown Kingdom. This is a short film that I had an opportunity to do. I wrote it years ago. And put it on the shelf. I didn't even actually write it. I started it years ago and put it on the shelf. And I just never got back to it. Podcasting, stand-up comedy, auditioning for films and so forth, and just everyday life. It just got in the way of me doing that. And then in 2023, I want to say, I was at the International Christian Film and Music Festival in Orlando, Florida. And there was a film there, a short film there called Spiritual Lenses. Spiritual Lenses is on the same level of the film that I started to write. My wife and I sat down in our hotel room there at the festival, and she showed me this film as we were having dinner on the balcony of a hotel, and we sat there and we watched it, and I was blown away with Spiritual Lenses. Spiritual Lenses is a film that was created by Kareem Everison, the aforementioned guest of our show today, which I pray he'll be joining us a little bit later. But I thought, wow, that is so similar to the idea that I started myself. And I was impressed immediately by God to finish writing this film. And that's what I did. I actually got with Kareem and I explained to him my initial idea and asked him to collaborate with me on this film. And sure enough, we spent the entire summer of 2024 working on it. And I think I mentioned earlier it was 2023. It was 2024 of last year that I saw Spiritual Lenses and was impressed by God to finish my film, which is called The Unknown Kingdom. It's short film. And so Kareem and I, we collaborated all summer and we worked on it. We wrote and we planned, we put a crew together, cameraman, boom mic, and a cast, put out a casting call for all the parts. And then of course I finished writing the film. And we got everything together and we did a few table reads. Once we got everything together, we shot this film in one day. It was the entire day, but from sun up to sundown, but we got it done. And then we got into post-production, who was orchestrated and headed by Jimmy Blanco, tremendous post-production guy, and color grade guy, the whole nine, edited the film. And it took us a couple of months to get that done. And before you know it, we're in post-production. And right now I'm being contacted by Kareem Everison, so he should be joining us any moment now. But we put the film in post-production, and sure enough, we were able to make it, get it done, complete it. And as I speak right now, I'm being joined by the co-director and lead actor of the film, Kareem Everison. What's up, Kareem?
What's up, Maurice? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I was just explaining to everyone the birth of the film Unknown Kingdom and how it came about. And I was explaining to everyone about your film, which you produced, short film which you produced and starred in, called Spiritual Lenses.
Yeah.
Which inspired me to finish a film that I had started and was on the back shelf for years.
Yep.
And because the theme of your film was so similar to what I had started, I was inspired by God to finish what I started.
Yeah.
And we got together and talked about it. And throughout the summer of this year of 2024, we collaborated weekly, writing the script, adjusting the script, putting a camera crew together, with Isaiah Reyes being our main camera guy, and I think Paul Bryan was our boom guy. And then we put out a casting call, and then you actually, spearheaded that. We had like a cast of about, I'd say 10 to 12 cast members, and we shot this thing from sun up to sundown in one day in Orlando, Florida. And you found a great color grade and edit guy in Jimmy Blanco.
Oh yeah.
And sure enough, we got the thing done, and we had it screened in Orlando, and now we're submitting to the International Christian Film and Music Festival in Orlando, hoping to be selected and even nominated for an award.
Yeah. And our cast, man, it was difficult, the auditions, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't easy to pick, to choose which actor would play which part. We had quite a few submissions, and everyone did amazing. But I think when it all came down, I think we chose the best cast, I believe. And shout out to Paul Bryan, our sound guy, our boom guy. He actually connected us with Jimmy. It wasn't me. I didn't find Jimmy Blanco. It was Paul who referred him to me. And yeah, Jimmy's great. He did awesome with the color grading and everything. He made our film, like, man, just top notch.
I can't wait for you guys out there to see our film. This is really awesome. And as I mentioned before, I was inspired to finish what I started because of a film that I had seen produced and directed by Kareem Everison called Spiritual Lenses. Kareem, I'd like for you to kind of explain to everyone how, Spiritual Lenses intersects with Unknown Kingdom.
Okay. Well, so back in 2023, around Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, I was in church, and after service, my pastor was praying and just sort of prophesying that I was going to be making films that's going to glorify God. So I go home, and everything started downloaded to me. Like, God was speaking to me, giving me this idea. I seen it like Men in Black, but just very different. I seen sunglasses. I seen black and white. So basically the idea is what the Lord wanted me to portray on screen was the power of prayer. And, when we pray, we're in a spiritual warfare. So in Spiritual Lenses, I play the character David with his partner Esther. So we are like spiritual evangelists. Like we, in the film, we use the spiritually anointed sunglasses that allows us to see allows us to see into the spiritual realm. So we're seeing demons. We're seeing demons attacking people. So the audience, what they see when the viewers watch the film, what they see is two realms, two things going on. They see the physical realm where we're praying for these people. These people are struggling. There's a homeless guy, a drunk guy. There's prostitutes. There's a whole bunch of people that are pretty messed up spiritually, and the audience sees us praying for these people in the natural realm. But in the spiritual realm, they see us fighting these demons, beating these demons up, martial arts style. So I reached out to a friend of mine, Jennifer Brewer, who helped me. We co-wrote Spiritual Lenses together, and we started it. And yeah, Spiritual Lenses was nominated at ICFF, the International Christian Film Festival, for Best Director. Yeah, so glory to God.
So, what the similarities between this film and Unknown Kingdom, the film that I had began, years ago?
Yeah,
it's so similar. Now, where the similarities end,
the spiritual aspect.
The spiritual aspect of it is very similar, but we're focusing in on one family in Unknown Kingdom. There's a family that has the all-American look. Like, that's the perfect family. They've got to be doing everything right in their house, the nice cars, the nice home. The kids are all American students and athletes and all this thing. So from the outside, it looks like the perfect family, but beneath the surface, there's a lot of dysfunction and corruption that's going on. And the spiritual warfare is steadied on this family. And there's a grandmother in the family who's, as they say, they've got it. Thank God, they've got a praying grandmother. And the grandmother's prayers are dictating the narrative of the story. And we see that in spiritual warfare between angels and demons, very much like Spiritual Lenses. Her prayers are driving the narrative in the Unknown Kingdom, or the spiritual world, what we call spiritual warfare. And angels and demons are fighting each other for the souls of mankind. Yeah. And God is the author and creator of it all. He wants every human being with him in his kingdom. But because of the warfare that exists, some will be with God and some won't be. And we all, as human beings in the realm that we see with our natural eyes, we can dictate tempo by praying, by going to church, by witnessing, by reading our Bibles, by being totally sold out to the cause of Christ. We can dictate the outcome in the spiritual world.
Exactly. Yep.
So we had a big cast, a pretty big cast. We have plans for this film, as you mentioned before. We're submitting. Yes, we have submitted to the International Christian Film and Music Festival, and we should find out something in February whether or not we're going to be selected or even nominated. Praise God.
Yeah. And we're also on the verge of submitting it to Content. It's another Christian festival, as well as others to come.
Well, I believe there's Christian Content 24, which goes on in the state of Texas. I'm not sure about that. But and then there's another one in Atlanta, Georgia, that's headed by the great faith-based actor Cameron Arnett.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the spokesperson for that festival.
So we'd like to get our film in there, and also, which I didn't realize this, but if you so cared to venture out into this world, we can submit to the Academy Awards.
Yep. There's a lot of film festivals that are Academy Award qualifiers. So we're going to be submitted to a few of those as well.
We're definitely going to do that. And what the beautiful thing about that is how God put this film together. We're working on limited financial resources.
Yep.
And it's amazing how God just put everything in place. Like I said, we spent the summer talking about this. We planned, we put it together, cast together, crew together, and we shot the thing from sun up to sundown in one day. And then it took there was a process afterwards to get this thing done by Jimmy Blanco in the post-production room.
Yeah. Well, we had like 2 pickup shots that we needed to get, but majority of the film is pretty much wrapped besides those pickup shots. So we did pretty much everything in one day for sure.
Yes, and hopefully we'll be joined later on by a couple of the actors in the film. Axel, and I don't know if I've ever gotten Axel's name pronounced correctly. I think it's Axel Aponte.
Aponte.
Axel Aponte.
Ponte. I think it's Ponte.
Okay. I'm certainly not Spanish. I'll never be able
Forgive
to
me,
get it
Axel.
right. You're going to have to help me.
Yeah, I just call him Axel, man. I work with Axel in so many projects. Like he's my guy, man. My go-to guy. Very, very talented actor.
He's a very talented actor. He was tremendous in our film, and he's one of the standouts in the film. Also, Jayne Jensen, also in the film, who's a model and also a very fine actress. She's going to be joining us as those two played two prominent roles in the film as they played the parts of the demons in this film. They did a great job. And then the main character of the film, Roger McBride, played by actor Shawn Lawrentz, hopefully will be joining us a little bit later on the show. But as I mentioned before, Axel Aponte and Jayne Jensen should be joining us a little bit later on. As a matter of fact, as I speak, Axel is attempting to come in now, so we'll just give him an opportunity to work with his technology. But again, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening and you're watching the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on bogradio.fm and KCHF-TV11.org out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, talking with co-director and actor Kareem Everison. And we're talking about our film, Unknown Kingdom, that we did over the summer. It's a faith-based short. We're hoping that we can turn this into an episodic or create a full-length feature film. And I think, judging by the screening, a lot of those in attendance in Orlando on December 27th of this year felt like they wanted to see an episodic. What do you think, Kareem?
Yeah, I think that so we did a little screening for the film, and the audience in attendance, they wanted to see more. So we're definitely, this is probably going to be either a feature length film, Unknown Kingdom, or it's definitely have room and potential to be episodic series for sure. Yeah.
And I think that so anyway, I got to contemplate on that because it's exciting to think about, which way I could go with that. As we speak, we have Axel Aponte and Jayne Jensen. They're both working on their technology to get in. Matter of fact, there's Jayne Jensen right there. Hello, Amanda. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
I am doing great, Amanda. I was just telling everyone about your part in Unknown Kingdom as you and Axel Aponte had the opportunity to play two demons in this film.
Yeah, that was my first time playing a demon.
Well, I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but you did a great job. Just kidding, Amanda. I'm just kidding. You did. It is a compliment. You did a great job. You and Axel both did a tremendous job in your roles as the demons in this film as we talk about spiritual warfare. I'd like to ask you, Amanda, how did you, this is a dark role. How did you prepare for your role as a demon in this film?
Well, I did the basic preparation, obviously, which hopefully every actor does, of writing the script, reading the script a few times, and thinking about, I sort of connected with memories in my life where I have given in to the darker temptations that we all face.
Yeah.
And I thought about, I guess, that dark side of me. Because, we do have the free will to choose good and choose bad. And even those of us that are believers, I think we've all done bad things in our lives. So
yeah,
I'll be honest with you. It was kind of fun to play that side of me because I haven't before. I've never played like a purely evil role before.
Yeah.
And it's just make believe. It's play. I think that certain acting methods can lead you too far down the road of being too connected with a role. But in this case, since it was a short film, I don't think that was my experience. But I mean, I think it's important to have boundaries and to disconnect from the role and to trigger out, especially if you're in emotional situations. In this case, that wasn't really an issue because it was a shorter film. And for that reason, it was really fun for me, honestly.
Yes. And I think that's a great point you bring out about getting sucked into the character of the role, which has happened to some prominent actors on much bigger levels and projects. When you think about Heath Ledger, who played the Joker in Dark Knight, and ultimately ended up taking his life because he just went all the way into that role and got sucked into that character.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting because, you know, you're talking about a seasoned actor, but it happened, and it can happen to anybody. And as we talk about that, oh, go ahead, Amanda.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just nodding my head because I have experienced that a little bit in Meisner training, and also in my feature film that I just got done making. I feel like in some ways I got too connected to my character and some of the scenes that I was doing, and I didn't trigger out enough. Or, you know, another way to put that is I didn't snap out of it quickly enough.
Yeah,
So,
and as you say that, we welcome your partner to the show, who played one of the demons, Axel Aponte. What's up, Axel? How are you?
Hi. So I figured out how to turn my camera on. So, yeah, I was having trouble with it.
Glad you were able to figure that out. You did a great job in the film. You were outstanding in your role as a demon. You were a very good demon. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I'm just kidding, Axel. I said the same thing that Amanda. You guys were very good in your roles. I asked Amanda how she prepared for her role in the film. Tell us a little bit about how you prepared for your role as the demon in Unknown Kingdom.
So I took it as an open-minded approach. What I mean by that, just pretty much like not being myself, and also thinking of it of like other characters, like the Dark Knight Rises, the Joker character.
Yeah, exactly.
I took it upon that, as well as the Crow character and Brandon Lee. That film is more of a spiritual aspect, so I took a more approach from that type of character, because his character was more in pain. So I took it from that approach of his character being in so much pain that he had so much anger towards his antagonist in that type of film. And then when Amanda put that makeup on me, I kind of felt like that character. I felt like the Crow. I felt like I wanted revenge. And then when I did the scene with Reagan, I had a more open-minded approach of like, okay, I'm playing a demon. This demon is going to be out of control in this type of scene, as well as the other scenes as well. But in this particular scene, it made me open my mind. Okay, what does a demon do in this situation? And demons are not good at all.
No, not at all.
You know, so it's like, okay, like they have to like be, you know, dangerous. And then in that scene, it was more of like a lustful scene in a way.
Yes, of course.
So it was like a very like lustful scene in a way. Well, like I thought of it as, okay, I have to have him as a like open mind. Okay, this is gonna be kind of like lustful in a way.
Yeah, sure. And you did an excellent job. And as we discussed that, we welcome also another member of the cast, and who actually is the main character of this film, the short film of Roger McBride. Please welcome everyone, actor Shawn Lawrentz. What's up, Shawn? How are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Shawn, you did an excellent job as Roger McBride in this film. And this is a film about a family that looks like they're the all-American family. They've got everything: nice home, nice cars, great kids, all-American athletes, students, the whole 9 yards. there can't be anything wrong with this family. I wish I was in that family. Oftentimes in life, we see people like that all the time, and we just think, oh, they're just perfect. But what a lot of folks don't realize is there's a lot of problems going on behind the scenes, and the public's not aware of that. And not only are there a lot of problems, there's corruption going on inside this family. And your role as Roger McBride, you're the villain. You are the villain of this. No one suspects what's actually going on behind the scenes. And you're in some really deep stuff there, dark stuff. Tell us, and I don't want to give the whole film away, but Shawn, tell us a little bit how you prepared for your role as Roger McBride.
I don't know if I necessarily prepared anything specifically for the role itself. Taking the acting aspect out of it. I've always kind of been a student of human psychology and human nature. So that's just always interested me. And one of the things that obviously the spiritual aspect of the film, draws us in, and you guys have talked about that over and over again. But kind of what drew me into the character is the psychological component of how humans can kind of justify their bad behaviors to get what they want. And they don't really feel the repercussions of anything until it affects them personally. And to me, that's kind of what really hit home with me in regard to that's really what spoke to me about the script. So I just took that aspect of it and kind of put myself in those. Obviously, it's the farthest thing from me in real life, but like I could really, I really see it. And like you said, everybody looks at these kinds of families in real life, and that a lot of those things, maybe not to this degree, but are there.
They're there. And I mean, I've had friends in high school and college that were from the quote unquote perfect family seemingly. And you know, because you're a close friend and confidant that's not what's happening. And, we were also talking about how you can get sucked up into a role like Heath Ledger did in Dark Knight. Amanda was talking about her preparing and not wanting to get too deep into this thing because things could go sideways. I'm trying to think of an actor that played Abraham, Daniel Day. What is this guy's name? Daniel Day-Lewis. That's it. He played Abraham Lincoln in a number of other roles. He's a very good actor. This guy, from the beginning of the day of the film's shooting until the end, he's whatever the character is that he's playing, he's that character. Whether he's going to 7-Eleven or Starbucks or whatever, he's that guy until the film ends. But Daniel Day-Lewis never was the type of person that would get lost in the role, but it's method acting. You mentioned the Meisner method, I think, Amanda, and it's all about how you prepare for a role. And I think you got to keep, your sense of balance so you don't go to the other side, if you will.
Sort of become that person, right? Like you kind
exactly. And Axel, I tell you, dude, you did an amazing job. I think you really juggled the idea of a demon versus reality, going in and out, because we shoot the thing and then when the shoot's over, well, there's just Axel again. Axel, so you did an excellent job. And then Amanda, I really like the way, and Amanda, you do go about your business, because not only are you an actress, you're also a model. Tell us a little bit about your modeling career.
Sure. Well, actually, that's how I started my creative journey. Someone on Facebook invited me to a modeling photo shoot, and I hadn't done modeling since I was 17 years old. Now I'm in my 30s, and don't ask me how old I am, because a lady never tells. But anyway, I started out doing runway shows for my stepmother when I was 17. I hadn't thought about modeling again until my mid 30s. And I just fell in love with it. It was so fun. And it was an outlet for self-expression. And I just couldn't stop. And then I started booking real jobs and a lot of like fitness focused female type of roles, those kinds of things, commercials. And, you know, I love it, but I like acting more. So I have to sometimes stop myself from only focusing on modeling. And, you know, it actually can hurt you in the acting world because some people just see you as, oh, she's just a model, you know, she's not a serious actress. But I really do take my acting very seriously. And I've done 3 rounds of training and I continue to train. And, you know, I take the acting very seriously. And so I don't want my modeling to hurt my acting career, but unfortunately, people do have those perceptions, you know?
Yes, unfortunately. But I think you do a fabulous job of juggling both careers between modeling and acting. And there are other actresses out there that have done quite a bit of modeling in their careers. But I love the way that you put both of those together. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching and listening to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on bogradio.fm. Talking about a film that I wrote and produced along with actor and creator Kareem Everison called Unknown Kingdom. It's a short film. And I've got some of the cast members on the show from that film, Jayne Jensen, Axel Aponte, and Shawn, Lawrentz. We submit it to the International Christian Film and Music Festival, and hopefully next month we'll hear something as to whether or not we were selected or even nominated. I think we did a tremendous job with, I wish I could show some of this film, but I'm not going to do anything like that yet. But it's a really good film. God did some amazing things with this film because we were working with limited financial resources, limited crew. We put a cast together, thank God, a very good cast together. Shawn, Lawrentz, Axel Aponte, and Jayne Jensen are here. My wife had an opportunity to be a part of it. ML Fitzgibbon, who played Shawn's wife in the film, Mrs. McBride Jr., Regan Marins, who's in a big project out in LA. Hopefully we'll find out more about that later on, but she's an excellent actress. She was in the film. And also Alexia Rivera, who played opposite Kareem as one of the angels. Matter of fact, Kareem also played, and he's one of the good guys. Kareem was the star of the show, and he's one of the good guys. He played an angel. Kareem, tell us a little bit about your preparation for your role in Unknown Kingdom.
Well, it was easy for me to play a good guy. I'm a good guy. But honestly, so I kind of see my character sort of like kind of like the character I played in Spiritual Lenses, but it was a little different. Instead of being a human, he was an angel. So the way my character walked was a lot different to the character in Spiritual Lenses, and even the way I went about the fight scene was a lot differently. So, but it didn't really take too much preparation. I just tried to be as angelic as I thought that role entailed.
Yeah,
you know, just sort of, I guess, a little more graceful in the way he spoke, and yeah.
You know, I would be biased to say I love this film because I created it, but I love this film, and I've watched it a number of times, and I'm telling you, I really am so impressed with the pacing of the film, the subtle, consistent intensity beat of the film. I mean, I just really love the way that it came out. I'm very impressed with it. We're going to see what God does with it. It's based off of Daniel chapter 10 in the Bible, verses 12 through 14, where it reads, and this is about Daniel praying. He's been on his knees for 21 days, praying to God for an answer. And he doesn't understand why there hasn't an answer come yet. And an angel appears to him in Daniel 10, 12 through 14, and lets him know, fear not, Daniel, because from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to chasten thyself before God. Chasten means fasting and praying. Mm-hmm. And as he had been doing that before God, your words were heard.
Wow.
And I have come for your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia, which is a demon, withstood me in the midair for 21 days. And lo, Michael, one of the chief princes, which is the warring angel, came to help me, and I remained sitting there with the kings of Persia. So they're fighting and they're battling. This is like spiritual warfare on a huge level. And
that's
so
what I love.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Maurice. That's what I love about the movie too. Just the prayer in it. And shout out to Laura Chick, who played the praying grandmother, Elizabeth Johnson. She did an incredible job praying. Her praying was real. Her prayers were real, and it was very believable. And even you, shout out to you. You did awesome with the opening prayer and reading the scripture. I thought it was very powerful. So,
amen. Thank you.
About the movie, just the
absolutely.
And Maurice, I want to give you kudos also just for having such a positive, calm demeanor, because I know how stressful producing a film is. Even one day is exhausting. Yeah. And I just felt like you had a really positive attitude.
Well, thank you, Amanda. You know, I love it. I love doing this kind of thing. I had been contemplating it, and then I met Kareem. I said, you know what, doggone it, let's just make this thing happen.
He was calm because of me, just so you know. That's why.
Yeah. And you know what?
I was the stressed one.
Because I've been an actor. I am an actor. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I'd never put a film together. I always thought it was like, man, I don't know how those guys do all that stuff. Like you said, man, it's got to be super stressful. I mean, I don't know how to do it. So, but once I made the commitment to do it, I enjoyed the heck out of it. Yeah. You know, I just loved working with you guys and just making it happen. And it just contributed to me being relatively calm throughout the whole thing because I was enjoying the work. But I appreciate the compliment, Amanda. And then it says the last verse says, now I've come to make you understand what shall befall your people in the latter days, for yet the vision is for many days. And the thing about the film, the way it's set up, because we leave it kind of on a cliffhanger. And that when you're talking about the word of God, it's infinite. Like it just doesn't stop. It just keeps going on and on and on. And the thing is, it's like, oh man. So that last sentence in that last verse I read says, things to come. So when you see the film, you're going to want to see more. You know more is coming. Your appetite has been whetted, right? And so it just leaves you in that position where it's like, man, this is amazing, you know, and we got to see what happens next. And I think, Axel, you were in that the next to last scene, and without giving anything away, your role is like the next version of this film is going to see, okay, well, gee whiz, what's getting ready to happen here? What is this demon going to do in this situation? And how are these angels going to corral this situation? So we kind of leave it hanging out there on a cliffhanger. So it was a lot of fun to do. And as I said, as Kareem said, the narrative is driven by the praying grandmother. You know, we see her praying, and then we see action in the spirit. You know, as the viewer of the film, you kind of getting the idea, okay, grandma is running the show here. Her prayers are dictating the tempo. And so that's kind of, you know, what's happening there. And we, like I said, Shawn Lawrentz, who plays the role of Roger McBride, he's the villain of the film. And he's running a family that seems like the perfect family, but there's pain-killing, drug addiction going on, online deceptions going on, which leads to human abduction. A father who's the leader of that human trafficking ring, and by day he's a state attorney general. Whoa, what's going on here? So this stuff right here, it gets pretty deep and gets pretty dark, and so you know, the mother played by M.L. Fitzgibbon, Shawn's movie wife here, Mrs. McBride, completely oblivious to everything. The only thing she wants to do is shop. She's got a shopping addiction. She wants to spend all of Mr. McBride's money. That's all the thing she wants to do. So she doesn't have any idea about what's really going on here. And it's her mother, that's the grandmother, that's doing all the praying here, because grandma knows, oh no, there's something really, really wrong here. And again, I mentioned Shawn Lawrentz playing the role of Roger McBride, and he does an excellent job of pulling that off. You look at Shawn right now as we're talking, nice guy, and He's a super nice guy. That's question, but he exudes the role of a criminal, a calm criminal, very, very well in his role as Roger McBride, ladies and gentlemen. You're really gonna enjoy watching this film. I believe me. And Shawn, as I mentioned, that tell us a little bit about your acting background.
I'm actually relatively new to it. Just really started getting into this whole thing maybe 2.5 years ago, but really just started acting last January. And I don't know how many people really know, but I will be retiring from the fire department here in about 9 months after 20 years of service.
Man, congratulations.
Congrats.
Congrats.
I didn't know you were a firefighter.
Yeah. So I'm trying.
Oh man, to be a firefighter. Like I actually, not to cut you off, but I actually just took a tour for a firefighting school, and they do EMT and all that because I have to be EMT first. So that's cool.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's a great career. Got to help people, got to do a lot of things. But just looking for something, for that second part of my life. Yeah. And like I said, last January, I just started. And since I've gotten involved, I think yours was my third short and one feature at that point. Since then, I've done 2 additional features and 2 additional shorts. Okay. So trying to stay busy with it, but I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be a part of this, and I'm just ready to get back to work on your next installment here.
Well, I'm excited about that because we want to knock this thing out. We get back at it this summer. But I really appreciate your role in the film, and we're all actors here. We know how difficult the business can be when it comes to not getting a callback. Sometimes, I mean, like you don't even get it. If they don't select you, you're not even going to hear from them again. Hey, buddy, you didn't make it. And it just happens over and over and over again. And you got to have that certain stick to itness about it that, look, I'm just going to keep doing it, something. And eventually something is going to break. You have to keep hammering away at this thing because this is a tough industry. Acting, and I'm sure modeling is very similar. Amanda, I would guess, it's tough business. A lot of rejections, a lot of no's, a lot of excuses they give. Sometimes they don't even bother to give an excuse. They just don't call you back. And you just have to keep hammering away at it. Axel, I want to go to you real quick. And we talked about your role as the demon in this film. You did a great job. What was, for you, the most challenging aspect of your role as the demon in this film?
The most challenging aspect was playing it in 3 different ways. Like going into the human perspective and then going back into the demon. Yeah. It made me like think, okay, in this scene, what am I doing in this scene? Because I'm playing, a human being, and then I'm gonna be turning back into the demon. So I had to like think, okay, in this scene, like when me and Amanda were with the scene with the mom, I looked at it as, okay, this is a business meeting. So I thought of it as a business meeting. And then when I did this scene with Reagan, I thought of, I'm on a date. So I thought of it like that, like in that particular scene, okay, I'm on a date with this girl. And then in the scene with, oh my gosh, I forgot his name. With the boy with the drug scene.
Kalen Unger.
Yeah, so with
Roger
him,
McBride Jr.
Yeah, so with that scene, I was thinking of, my character is peer pressuring him on taking drugs to perform. So I thought of it of like just different ways. I was like, okay, these are 3 different types of characters in a way, but I'm still playing like a demon. So it made my mind like expand of like, okay, I could take this like anywhere, but in these specific scenes, I have to do this in this way for it to make sense.
Yes. And you did it very, very well. And you brought somewhat of a street aspect to the persuasion of Roger McBride Jr. to continue to take those pain-killing drugs. And it was done really, really well, but you just have to finagle your way into just convincing the audience that you're really a low individual, which you did a great job at. And then Amanda, for you playing his sidekick, what was the most challenging part for you?
Honestly, it took me a hot minute to wrap my head around the fact that I was playing an evil role. Just even the name Demon. I mean, to be honest with you, at first I didn't want to do it. I was like thinking, oh, are there any other roles, or can I ask him if, there's any other roles I can play? And then putting on the evil makeup too. It just the whole experience of knowing that, oh, I'm an evil role. It took me a minute, but I really ended up enjoying it more than I thought I would. I had fun with it. The evil laugh was fun for me. I was pleasantly surprised. And I was actually thinking, wow, what other evil roles could I play? Maybe I could be like, an evil witch, because I love all of the fairy tale movies.
Yeah.
The Snow White and the reenactments of all of the fairy tales. And I was thinking, maybe I can play other evil roles, like kind of tapped into that side of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without getting too much into it this time. Yes. Thankfully I didn't.
Yes. Yeah. You did a great job. It was really, really cool. The way that you played that, and you did a great job. And I don't think we left it open for you guys to end up going too deep, but I do believe that it can happen to anybody. And, it was kind of a lighthearted deal. And you're actually working a scene with Shawn Lawrence's character, Roger McBride, who really got some horrible, horrible news, which I'm not going to reveal what that is either, but you did a great job. And then lastly, regarding you, Shawn, in playing Roger McBride, what was the most challenging part for you in performing this role?
Just like every actor, like they said, is that stepping outside of your character is just always kind of challenging. You always have to try to, put yourself in that perspective and everything. So taking myself and putting myself into that thought process of how that would happen, and like, how would I truly react in that situation? Like you said, without giving it away, how would I react in that situation? It's unfathomable to think in those terms and in regard to that situation, that movie in what you wrote, but you just, try to do the best you can with it.
Yes. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, talking with Amanda Jensen, Axel Aponte, Shawn Lawrentz, and Kareem Everison, cast members and co-creator of the film Unknown Kingdom, a short film that we did this past summer. And we hope to have this thing released either on YouTube once it's all said and done. Maybe you can get it on YouTube. Maybe you can get it on Tubi. Maybe you can get it even on Redeem TV, ChristianCinema.com, and some other platforms out there where you could see a short film like this. But we're about to step out of here. But before we go, I guess I'll start with you, Amanda, because you're also a model. Mm-hmm. What advice, firstly, can you give young actresses out there? They're just starting out. They're just thinking about, I think that's what I want to do for a living. I want to be an actress or a model even. What kind of advice can you leave with young people?
Well, I'm gonna give a little bit of a hard truth. Make sure you have other sources of income. Don't plan on depending on either for a source of income, at least not for a few years, because it takes a while to build a reputation, gain agency representation, get a good portfolio, and everything you need to start booking paid work. For most people, it does. And even then, some actors and models still struggle to book paid work. Also have an attitude of this is a long-term goal, that this is not going to happen overnight. And you really need to have resilience and patience for that reason, because the odds are not that great to book jobs, the jobs that you want to do. Now, like doing creative shoots and collaboration shoots, that stuff is pretty easy to get because, there's a lot more opportunities. But to book paid work and the things you really want to be doing, that just takes some time.
Yes. So, excellent advice, Amanda. And how can our audience follow you on social media or by website?
Yeah, I appreciate that. You can follow me on Instagram, Amanda Jensen Actress on Instagram, amandajensen.actress. And on my Instagram, I have all of my other links in my bio in my link tree there.
Awesome stuff, Amanda Jensen on the Maurice Brown Comedy Show on bogradio.fm. And also, Axel.
I really appreciate you, by the way. I appreciate you having me. And just your compliment about my modeling is so appreciated, because I'm sure most women models and male models would admit that we struggle with self-consciousness and, just all kinds of things. So I really appreciate it.
Well, it's my pleasure to definitely do that. You're an excellent performer and model. You're a hard worker. You really work hard, and you deserve some admiration and attention for that, Amanda. And great job in the film Unknown Kingdom. I want to also now turn to Axel Aponte. And Axel, what advice can you leave with some young actors out there that want to make a living in this industry?
I've had a couple of friends speak to me about that, like, what would your, advice, or what do you think? And a lot of the times I say, one, faith. You gotta have faith to be able to do this, because it is hard. And then self-discipline. You gotta be self-disciplined. You have to pretty much be like, okay, this could be my last role. And every audition you do, it could be the last thing you do. I also tell people on okay, I really want to do this. Is like, okay, are you willing to sacrifice? It's a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of people aren't willing to do that. So there's people that I know that are trying to get in the industry, and I've asked people, I'm like, hey, so are you doing it? Like, what do you plan to do? Oh, but I work, blah, blah. So it's like a lot of people aren't willing to sacrifice for it. For me, it would be a lot of networking. Networking with as many people as you can, because in festivals, or or even here, when I met you guys, I got with Kareem first, and then he let me know about the project, so I was able to audition. So a lot of networking. You'll meet people not just within Florida. You'll meet people outside of Florida as well.
100%.
I met people in LA a couple of weeks ago. I went to a film festival in Tampa, and I met people in LA. So a lot of networking for sure. And just literally, you literally have to work hard until your last breath, pretty much.
Well, yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, I mean, if you're going to get into this industry, both of you guys have given great advice. I mean, you got to be you can't be lazy. You can't be, half in and half out, and you can't be sort of kind of. It's like
you have to go full 100%.
If you really want this, you really have to dive in and understand, as Amanda Jensen made very clear, it's not hugely financially rewarding. You have to make a lot of sacrifices in order to really excel in this industry. Great industry, awesomely rewarding industry, but you have to put yourself into it. And so, Shawn, real quick, and you as well, what advice can you leave with young people?
So if I can, just real quick, Maurice, Kareem, I am so glad to not only call you work partners, but friends as well. I think, and that goes for the entire cast, but you guys have been great throughout this entire process. I'm glad to have met both of you.
Thank you.
And also, just to answer your question regarding that, just to say exactly what they said, one thing I tell everybody about filmmaking in general, it takes two things. It takes money and it takes hard work. And the hard work never stops. I tell everybody that I do, it takes me more effort to try to get a job than I put in effort at my real job.
Yes. It's difficult. It's a tough business. It's fun. That's why you have to really love this to stay with it, because otherwise you won't hang around.
And then just one more thing, and you'll see this if you've read some articles, mainly over the last 2 years or so, especially with the larger actors and stuff. They've stopped waiting around too for other people to hire them, and they are going out and making their own content. So don't wait. That's my biggest piece of advice. Don't wait for others. Go out and do it yourself.
I totally love it, which is why I created Unknown Kingdom. Sitting around doing audition after audition after audition, trying to put comedy shows, stand-up comedy, same thing. You're battling the same type of competition and trying to get, bookings and stuff. And sometimes you just have to take the bull by the horn and say, I'm going to make my own project and do what I want to do the way that I want to do it. And a lot of times, it can turn out to be hugely rewarding depending on how much you give yourself to it. But you could do a lot of things on your own. I like what you said too, Shawn, about those that have already established themselves. It's like, hey, I want to do what I want to do. And that's liberating. There's something tremendously liberating about doing what you want to do. But thank you so much, Shawn. And good gosh, guys, we got about 3 minutes real quick. Axel, can you tell us how fans can follow you on social media or by website?
I want to make one more point. About, the advice thing. You don't have to do this part-time. Like, I have a full-time job and I'm able to do this, so it's a lot of sacrifice, trying to put the time in and out and just making availability. I think a lot of people, especially in this industry, are with you with certain projects and then they just back out. I'm not one of those people that I've backed out of projects. If I'm not available, I literally will let the person know right then and there instead of leaving them out last minute.
That's a great point. I love it.
Like last minute. If you do that, like leaving last minute, it'll be hard for you to find another project.
Bottom line.
So it's a no in the industry. But if you are willing to do this, you literally just have to work hard and you sacrifice so much for it. So to be able to find me, it's Ax-Models. And then I also have Facebook, it's Axel Aponte, and I do have an IMBD as well.
Okay, and Shawn, how about yourself?
Just regular Shawn Lawrentz on the social media aspects and stuff. However, in regard to making your own content, this goes for anybody watching and you guys and everything. In Tampa here, we have a group called Lights Camera Tampa Filmmaking, and we're all a learning group, and we all pitch in and we make our own shorts and all that stuff. So anybody interested, Lights Camera Tampa Filmmaking.
I love it. And Kareem, you know what? We got to get out of here, dude. I would appreciate you, though, for being on the show. We're going to have to do on the show. This is not the last show that we do on Unknown Kingdom. We got several more coming your way as we get up to our release date and all those different things. So for Amanda Jensen, Axel Aponte, Kareem Everison, and Shawn Lawrentz, I'm Maurice Brown. Thank you so much for being on the show today, and may the peace of Christ be with you and your families, guys. God bless.
Amen. Take care, y'all.